Jarrad Brown, financial planner to Australian expats in Singapore and around the world. Welcome to my video series where we cover the personal finance basics for Australians at home and abroad. Today, I'm thrilled to have with me Managing Director of CST Tax, Boon. Boon provides both personal and corporate income tax to our clients both in Singapore and Australia. It's been an incredible resource for our clients, and I'm thrilled to have him with us here today to cover some of the common questions that our Australian expat clients face.
Thanks for having me, Jarrad.
Thank you for joining us. And one of the common scenarios that our clients face, they're in Singapore, a lot of them are in regional roles, which means a lot of travel to various parts of Asia and all over the world, and a lot of them are travelling for large chunks of the year. Mm-hmm. So one of the common questions we get asked is this NOR scheme.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us a little bit more about it? What is it? How does it work?
Got it.
What does it mean for an individual, an Australian expat here in Singapore?
Absolutely. So NOR stands for the Not Ordinarily Resident scheme, and it's a concession provided by the Singapore government to attract companies to set up regional hubs in Singapore and to attract overseas talent to base themselves here. Under the NOR scheme, the concession is if you have taxable income of at least $160,000 and are outside of Singapore for at least 90 days during the year for work, then in the first 5 years that you are a Singapore tax resident, you are able to pro-rata your taxable income based on actually the days that you're in Singapore. So for example, if you travel for 100 days in the year, then those 100 days, if you are eligible for the NOR scheme, will actually be exempt from tax in Singapore. Now, I think it's very important to make it clear that whilst it's not taxable in Singapore, that doesn't automatically mean it's taxable somewhere else in the world. For example, the place that I've gone to work. This is actually a concession for Singaporean tax residents, so it doesn't change your tax residency status. It doesn't mean that it's taxable in the other jurisdiction. It's just a concession and a benefit for you that the government introduced to encourage you to live and work here in Singapore.
That's great. So someone, say, travelling potentially a third of the year could actually have a fairly significant saving in their tax bill on what is ordinarily a fairly low rate anyway,
yeah,
but still make a meaningful difference.
Absolutely. So the top tax rate is 22% in Singapore. If you are a very high earning executive traveling around the world and like you said, you 1/3 of your time is outside, then you think about your effective rate of tax would drop significantly from 22% downwards. Now there is a cap on that rate. You can't drop below 10%. So if you travel enough such that your rate falls below 10%, it will automatically cap itself at 10%, which is still a fantastic result if you're at that higher income level.
Absolutely. So certainly something worth people looking into.
Now, to claim the NOR scheme, the most important thing to remember is that the claim must be made at the same time that you lodge your return. It's only available, as I said, it's only available for the first 5 years that you are a resident in Singapore, and it's very much a use it or lose it situation. So I've met a number of expats here who, as you said, have heard on the grapevine about the NOR, but not really looked into it, and they've come maybe in year 2. Oh, last year, I travelled 120 days last year. Can we go back and amend? Unfortunately, you can't, because it is very much a use it or lose it. You cannot amend your return for an NOR claim.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I've heard, again, through the grapevine that there are some changes announced in the latest budget when it comes to the NOR scheme, how long it's going to be valid for. So what do people need to actually consider and think about when they're applying?
Yeah, so the key change to the NOR scheme is that in this year's budget, it was announced that this current year, so the year ended 31 December 2019, will be the last year that you can enter the system. So that means you must enter the system by making a claim for the NOR scheme this year. And if you do that this year, you have the benefit of the next 5 years, assuming that this is your first year in Singapore. Now, if you're already been in Singapore for the past 2 years, then entering it this year will mean you've got 2 more years because it's only your first 5 years. If, unfortunately, you don't meet the qualifications to claim the NOR scheme, then you actually cannot benefit from that exemption because you need to enter it in this year. Which means that when you file your return in April 2020, you will be submitting a NOR application.
Got it. So anyone travelling quite extensively with their work should really be getting onto this fairly quickly.
Absolutely. And the key point is to just note the number of days that you're outside for work, and a key one will be, and let's remember or be mindful of the fact that if you're traveling to multiple cities, sometimes you're going across the span of a weekend, that is still travel for work. The only time that it won't count is if you're on annual leave.
Got it.